Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are getting right under the hood to talk about a part that is absolutely 100% vital for your engine's health and its performance.
You know, it's one of those parts you probably never ever think about. That is, until it fails. And when it does, your car is basically a very, very heavy lawn ornament. You are not going anywhere.
Yep, we're talking about the fuel pump. It is literally the heart of your fuel system. And look, understanding the two main types, the old-school mechanical and the modern electric, is so important for performance, for maintenance, and for reliability, whether you're trying to keep a classic on the road or tune a modern beast. Okay, let's dive right in, and we're going to start with the original, the mechanical pump. I mean, this thing is a true marvel of just simple, effective, and honestly, super robust engineering. So how's it work? Well, its operation is just ingeniously straightforward. It's driven by the engine's own motion, right off a lobe on the camshaft. This little lobe pushes a lever, which then works a diaphragm back and forth. That creates a vacuum that sucks fuel from the tank and then pushes it right up to the engine. No crazy wiring, no electronics, just pure, simple mechanics.
And here is the number that tells the whole story. Just 4 to 7 psi. Now, I know that sounds ridiculously low by today's standards, but back then, it was the absolute perfect amount of pressure for the older, carbureted engines they were designed to feed. And that simplicity? Well, that's their biggest advantage. You've got fewer moving parts, no electronics. That means fewer things can go wrong. They're cheap, and hey, if you're doing a period-correct restoration on a classic car, keeping that original-style mechanical pump is absolutely essential for authenticity.
But, and this is a big but, they definitely have their limits. This quote from an enthusiast's tract A really says it all. When you start demanding real performance, that mechanical pump can struggle to keep up. It can essentially starve the engine of fuel right when it needs it most.
Not good.
All right, so let's jump forward in time to the modern solution, the electric pump. This really represents a massive leap forward in how we deliver fuel to an engine.
Now, unlike its mechanical cousin, an electric pump is powered by the car's battery, an alternator. And this is a total game changer, because its performance isn't tied to how fast the engine is spinning. It can deliver exactly the fuel the engine needs, whenever it needs it.
And just get a load of the difference in pressure. We're not talking 4 to 7 psi anymore. Oh no, we're talking a consistent 40 to 60 psi, sometimes way more. That high, stable pressure is absolutely non-negotiable for modern electronic fuel injection systems. This kind of consistency translates directly into some huge benefits. You get better performance, way crisper throttle response, improved fuel economy, and lower emissions. Plus, they're much better at preventing something called vapor lock. That's that frustrating issue where fuel actually boils in the lines on a hot day and stalls your engine.
And the market, well, it definitely reflects this shift. As engines get more and more efficient and powerful, the demand for electric pumps is just going to keep growing. They really are the undisputed standard for modern cars.
But all this power and precision, it does come at a price. As the expert Andre Simon points out, high-flow electric pumps, they get thirsty for electricity. They need more complex wiring, usually with relays, and they can put a pretty significant load on your car's electrical system. That's a really important thing to consider if you're planning an upgrade.
So, with all that in mind, how do these two contenders actually stack up in the real world? Let's break down a few common scenarios you might find yourself in.
All right, let's put them head to head. If you've got a classic that you just daily drive, the mechanical pump is simple, it's authentic. But if you're building a track car that needs fuel at high RPM, or you live somewhere super hot where vapor lock is a real threat, the electric pump is the clear winner, hands down.
Okay, now let's make this really practical. Let's talk about how you can actually diagnose issues with your own car and make the right choice for what you need.
So does this sound familiar? Your car cranks and cranks but won't start? Or it stalls when you put it under load? Or it kind of hesitates when you step on the gas? Yeah, there's a really good chance your fuel pump is the culprit. These are just classic symptoms of fuel starvation.
This little troubleshooting table can help you narrow it down. For instance, if you hear a high-pitched whining sound coming from the back of the car, that is often the death scream of a failing electric pump. It's a clear sign to replace it before you end up stranded on the side of the road.
Now here's a question we get all the time, especially from classic car owners who want that modern reliability, but don't want to give up their old-school carburetor.
And the answer is a definite yes. But, and listen up, this is critical, it comes with a huge warning. You can't just slap a high-pressure electric pump on there.
Its 40+ psi will totally overwhelm the carburetor, flooding your engine with gas. That's going to lead to awful performance, and it's a serious fire hazard.
So here's the bottom line. The fuel pressure regulator is a non-negotiable part of this swap. You have to install a regulator, and you have to dial that pressure way, way down to the 5 or 6 psi that your carburetor was actually designed to handle. This is all about safety and making sure it runs right.
This checklist pretty much simplifies the whole decision for you. If you have a stock, carbureted engine and originality is what you're after, mechanical is a great choice. But if you've got fuel injection, or you're chasing horsepower, or you're comfortable with a bit of wiring, then an electric pump is the way to go. So let's sum it all up. Mechanical pumps, they're all about simplicity and authenticity. Electric pumps, they're about precision, performance, and reliability. The right pump for you is the one that meets your engine's specific needs. And remember this, a perfect part with a poor installation is just a recipe for failure.
So ultimately, the choice comes down to you and your project. It's that classic balance between originality and modernization. And the decision you make, well, it says a lot about what you truly value in your car and your whole driving experience.